risk and compliance manager. The compliance and then audit focused roles, these are all examples of the types of roles that are aligned to GRC. Audit is like a tangential path to the GRC space, and so it also relies on understanding like the regulations and the standards and procedures that we then use to audit the business processes or the technology processes. So you can work as an IT auditor or a cybersecurity audit specialist. So this just gives you an idea of the type of roles that are in the market for within the GRC space. And so when you see the range of possible job titles, right, we can then unpack what the G and the R and the C mean in practice. So that way you can see, where you might fit best, especially for those who don't really have an understanding of how this works. So if you're ready to proceed, if you want to learn more about GRC, I want you to give me a yes in the chat. Awesome. You guys are a very engaged team. I love it. Okay, next slide, Mo. Okay, let's dive into it. So governance. So if you remember the hospital analogy earlier, we're going to go in depth here. So governance has to do with setting the direction and the structure for cybersecurity within an organization. And it's implemented through a series of steps and practices that are designed to build a solid foundation for secure operations. So I want you to think of governance as like leadership and oversight, the people who make the decisions, the people who determine what's accountable, right? It involves making sure that the strategies that we have align with the business goals. Now let's go through like the typical steps that we would see within governance. So first of all, define and align the objectives. And here we're just making sure that the cybersecurity objectives align with the organization's broader business objectives and their risk tolerance. So for instance, if the organization is one of those people that prioritize data privacy, which in 2025, every organization should, then their governance framework will focus very heavily on data protection policies. So like I mentioned earlier, the GDPR, the Digital Markets Act, those are all EU privacy laws. And so that would mean that we have a good understanding of how those laws apply. And then we create programs that would then help us implement integration of those laws into our processes. It also involves establishing a governance framework. And this is where we have to understand like the framework that exists. So there's NIST cybersecurity framework. There's some popular framework in the cybersecurity space. There's NIST cybersecurity framework. There's the ISO, that's the International Standard Organization. We have multiple series, the 27001, and then there's 27002. Those are some popular cybersecurity series. It's COVID as a framework for governance. So it also requires an understanding of like the frameworks that exist and knowing the ones that apply to the business operations. And then choosing the framework, then we'll have to fit the one, select the one that fit the organization's needs. But again, have an understanding of what those frameworks are. And we develop policies and standards that then determine how we operate as an organization. And so the policies for data protection, policies for access control, incident response. And these policies essentially determine how, as an organization, we want to respond if certain things happen. So, again, governance, we're thinking about like, okay, what are things that are going to happen? And then how do we draft these in policies that will then inform how we enforce it across the organization? So it's a very, very important role. Roles and responsibilities is a big part of governance, and so that's establishing the governance team. So it could involve like understanding who the key stakeholders are, identifying what the responsibilities should be, how we interact with them, how we report to them, and then making sure there's a regular cadence for how we're going to be dealing with those people. And so that ties back to the oversight mechanism, right? We have to set up oversight mechanisms. We have to set up the right monitoring systems. So that way, as we have people in roles and responsibilities, we have people in positions of authority, we have a way to be able to track what they're doing and be able to track and how they're reporting on what it is that the work that they're doing, how that work is going to be reported back to the right channels. So that goes back to the engaging the board and the leadership, right? The CISO, the folks in the C-suite who are making those decisions, right? Whatever it is that we're doing, we need to make sure that those people are also in the loop as well. So governance is essentially just connecting the dots between like our strategies, making sure that that's reported accordingly, making sure that the policies that we need to operate effectively are in place, and then making sure that those are trained effectively across the organization. So security training and awareness is a really big part of like every organization's cybersecurity program. And so that's a big part of the governance role as well, making sure that we have the right security awareness programs, making sure that we have the right trainings in place for making sure that cybersecurity is adhered to effectively as an organization. Now, when I try to bring this back home to like some of the work that I do at Meta, A lot of my work is really related to ensuring the safety and the security of users on our platforms. And governance is a really, really big element of my role. Governance and risk really are big elements of my role. And how I do that is just making sure that, we have policies that govern how our platforms are used. So I talked about like ads and how sometimes your ad may be taken down, or sometimes you may click a link and we have like malware. And so we have people who make sure that, their policies in place so that way that doesn't happen. I'm one of those people. And so it's a very important role, there's a huge responsibility there. But because of the scale at which we have subject matter experts, so I don't do that alone. I don't do that in isolation. I'm responsible for cross-functional governance. So I work with a lot of people. I work with lawyers. I work with policy teams, and our goal is really to make sure that we're developing these policies and standards. We're very clear on our responsibilities, and then when all of that is implemented, I will do like training to the people who are going to be. I want to use the word operationalizing. People are going to be implementing or doing execution on a day-to-day. So the teams are dedicated to advising on how our platform policies should account for country regulations. I'll talk about some regulations and compliance, but there are a lot of regulations, a lot of laws, and depending on how big your organization is, Meta is a huge organization, we operate in multiple countries, and so the laws in the US are different from the laws in the EU, are different from the laws in Asia, they're different from the laws in Africa, and so we need to have people who are in all of these countries who understand the local regulations, who can then help us translate that into how we set up our policies and our standards, and then we'll be engineers to build the systems that will then help us to implement this at scale because we're a huge company. So that's just an example of like how I would do that in my role today. If you've ever had your content taken down, if you've ever had your account hacked, or on Meta, or if you've ever like had to appeal for something because you found your content by link, all of that is related to governance. That's because there's a policy in place and you knowingly or unknowingly violated a policy. So that's governance in action. Next slide.
Awesome, I got you. Can I request that we move a little bit faster so we can keep talking?
Yep. All right. So you might be doing governance work already without even knowing it. And so if you may think that okay, I need to be in a security role because I want to do governance, but here's the truth: governance is about structure, accountability, leadership. So if you've ever set team goals, if you've ever created a process, if you ever had to build a draft standard operating procedure or write a document for someone to follow, that's governance, right? If you've ever had to do onboarding, I just talked about training, or how to train your members, present it to executives, that's communication, strategic alignment. So those are core parts of governance. Again, you're probably already doing these things in your role today, and I'm just breaking it down for you to see how this will also apply. Next slide. All right, let's go into risk.
Before we do that, let's ask the folks like governance.
Okay, well, do you like governance so far?
Just give us a G in the chat if you found the governance piece interesting and you may be interested to go into a governance role, writing policy. Let's look at slide again. Writing policy, defining objectives, establishing who's doing what, and training folks, and engaging the board. You can give us a G in the chat. Okay, cool.
A lot of G's. Okay, let's see what you guys think about R. Let's see what you think about risk. Okay. So risk. All right, risk really involves identifying, analyzing, managing the cybersecurity risks. You have to understand like the potential threats, vulnerabilities, be able to assess what those threats are, be able to think of the potential impact, size the impact, and then implement the appropriate controls to reduce or accept the risk. And the goal is really that we want to make an informed decision on how we protect our systems or our data or business operations. Now, in my role, a key part of what I do, I talked about working in ads, right? I work with data scientists to measure the impact of the gaps in our detection systems. Detection would be how we determine that there's something bad going on the platform. And so we would brainstorm strategies to minimize risk based on the metric movements that we observe. Now, what are potential risks? Someone who's trying to like do something bad, someone who's trying to scam users, or someone who, or if we take the wrong action, that's going to have an adverse impact on one of our users or on our business operations or on our revenue. And so we have to understand like what those risks are, being able to identify, okay, what are the appropriate solutions to mitigate this risk, and then how do we implement this and then socialize the solutions across the board. And the project I'm working on right now is related to mitigating revenue risk. So we have some of our internal cybersecurity policies. They have been they may result, if we implement them 100%, they may result in outsized revenue loss in a particular region of the world. I can't disclose too much.
Oh
And
wow.
so, what'd you say?
I said, oh wow.
Yeah. So being able to know, okay, what are all the regions that we operate in, and knowing like how the actions that we take are impactful, or how they translate in different regions of the world. And so I've been working on a project for like the last 3 months. It's supposed to be a 1 month project, but just getting alignment across the board with all the different stakeholders, and like, okay, these are the huge risks, and are we willing to make this trade? Like, what are the trade-offs if we take this risk? How do we what's going to inform the determination for like if we choose to go and launch this project, or if we choose to deprioritize it. So it's a huge part of that is just understanding, like being able to proactively think ahead as to like the risk, understand the business process, understand the ecosystem of the landscape that you operate in. And that would go back to understanding the laws, the regulations, the frameworks, and then translating that back to your business processes. And then a big part of that would then be mitigation. If you help your company mitigate a risk successfully, then you're an asset that needs to be kept.
So what I'm hearing is that there's a trade-off. You have to figure out there's a policy. I have to align with the policy, but if I align, I might lose money. So there's that trade-off of assessing which risk do I take, which risk do I not take. Correct.
Yeah, yes, correct. So we have to be able to identify like what the potential risks are, what the potential threats are. I talked about a revenue risk. I talked about phishing, a user getting scammed on our platform. A user could also get phished. So depending on what the organization context is, understanding what the threats are, and then conducting a risk assessment to say, okay, like how big is this? Is this really a threat, or is this really only impacting a small part of the business? And then coming up with like, okay, what are the trade-offs if we choose to go ahead with this? And then if the risk does turn out to be like what we thought it was going to be, what are the controls that we're going to put in place to make sure that it doesn't end up being like more outsized than we thought it was going to be, and then continuously monitoring for new risks. Okay. So you may already be doing risk management today. If you're the kind of person who, you can sense when something's about to go sideways, or you tend to ask the hard what if questions, or if you're proactive about identifying potential challenges, that will serve you very well in risk management within, cybersecurity. So if you like to write contingency plans, if you're working with vendors, if you track metrics, if you escalate issues when things happen, that's part of monitoring and response. And so this just gives you a breakdown of like, how you may be doing risk management today. And so as we move on to compliance and start to wrap up here, I would love to see like, what do you think about risk so far? Do you like risk?
If you like risk, give us an R in the chat. If you think these on the screen are things you can do day to day, do risk assessment, identify the actual threats, implement the actual risk treatment plan, report the risk to the relevant stakeholders. Okay, lots of R's in the chat. Let's keep it going.
All right. Now compliance. So compliance, like I've said, I think they're like the watchdog of the company. Think of them as the police of the company. Their goal is to make sure that the organization meets its legal, regulatory, industry requirements. And so this could be through following frameworks like the NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST has a couple of frameworks that they propose. The HIPAA or GDPR, it also involves documenting controls processes, preparing for audits, assessments, whenever like there's a new law that comes into effect, being able to see, okay, how does that impact like our business operations today? What do we need to change? That's part of an audit, that's an assessment. And then how do we translate that to all of the organization? Is it going to impact all the organization or only a portion of the organization? And then if it is impacting a portion, then how do we make sure that those people are now compliant with the new regulations? And how quickly do we need to do it so that we are compliant with the law and we don't have to pay a fine? So being able to do like a regular audits, and then when we do our assessments, we also have to, in a lot of instances, you have to report back to the relevant regulatory bodies. So they tell you, okay, you have to do this. And then you go back as a compliance officer to say, okay, like there's a new law, we have to make sure our organization is compliant. And then we have to go back and report back to the regulatory body to say, okay, we've done this is the report, and then do that on a regular basis. So a lot of regulators would have a stipulation for how frequent you have to come back and report on like how your organization is faring, or how your organization is being compliant with the law. Otherwise, fines. So there's always like a consequence. So it's just proving that the security practices are meeting external requirements. Next slide. All right, I just saw a comment. Somebody said, "I'm guessing SOX comes into place for C." Yes, that's right. So there are a lot of regulations, and the regulations are the goal is to keep the organizations accountable. And so compliance makes sure that the organizations meet these regulations. So these are several industry frameworks that guide the team in just doing this. I can't go into all of them, but these are like some of like the most important compliance frameworks and regulations in cybersecurity. So you may want to take a screenshot or take a note and just go read about some of these on your own. But each of these standards play a very critical role in guiding organizations to protect the sensitive data and ensure privacy.
And this is where I want to just jump in and bring this to real life, everyone. This is Mo. So I'll tell you guys about how our process works, where we actually will place you in a tech company to help them do work like this. And the truth is, I get called by a lot of startup founders, tech founders, like I showed you, and they're like, hey, Mo, I have a fintech company. I built an app, getting tons of users, but I'm getting hit with government compliance asks. I don't care about this stuff. I just want to make money and do my thing and build my product and raise capital. Can you get me somebody who can do the compliance work for me? So this is where you're really becoming a consultant and helping a business unlock growth. You'll see on the screen something called SOX and SOC 2 compliance. We had a few conversations last week with investment firms, AI education companies. They're saying, I can't sell to banks, I can't sell to hospitals to use my app because I'm not SOC 2 compliant. And it takes 6 months. So I'm making the point that there's so much demand from startups and big companies or mid-sized companies who can't even do business with the big companies until you come in there and help them become compliant. Make sense? So I want to highlight where the opportunity is right now and how we're helping you guys tap into the opportunity. You can keep it going.
That's a good call out. And I would also add that some of these regulations they actually change pretty frequently, or like GDPR, they add new requirements every couple of months. And so being able to interpret that quickly, I've been able to translate that to organizational context. That's very much a people job. That's something that AI can do for you. So again, highlights the importance of knowing how these things, how these laws work, and being able to like translate them to an organization. Very, very important skill to have. All right, next slide. All right. So how do you know if you're doing compliance work today? If you're creating like checklists, if you're setting up recurrent tasks, if you're making sure that people are following procedures, that's really translating policy into practice. Or if you're in a role where you're like having to stay on top of like the human resources, the finance, or like the policies, and making sure that your team is aligned, that's also compliance. It may sound intimidating, but if you've ever really helped like your team or your organization to follow the rules, understand what the rules are of like the big organization you operate in, and then help them follow the rules and improve it, that's already compliance work. And when I also think about like how some of this applies to my work, so going back to like the point I just made about like regulations changing or like new requirements coming in, when I worked on Marketplace a few years ago, the EU released the Digital Markets Act. I think that was like 2022, and it was in. We already had GDPR for privacy, but then the DMA was like a new one for us, and the goal was just to ensure that we're not giving the big tech platforms too much power. And so it was a massive effort to just ensure that we're integrating the new requirements into our workflow. So that required changing how things were done. I wasn't working in the compliance function. I worked more in the governance function at that point. But the idea was we needed to map the DMO, the new rules that had come out to our internal processes to make sure that all of our teams, the product teams, data teams, operations teams were all aligned and they weren't going to be violating. And then we then had to prepare a huge report. I didn't do the report, the compliance people did it, and did a huge report that then we sent that back to the regulators, and then they do that on a regular basis. So it's now a part of our process. So, and I worked as a program manager, worked cross-functionally. So I tended to gravitate towards the governance part of the work, but even in spite of that, I'm still working in a lot of roles or in a lot of functions that intersect with compliance. So just wanted to call that as like another example. I would have shared more like, but I don't have that much time. So if you really enjoy, just making sense of rules, translating them into workflows, that's what makes compliance rules so impactful, right? You're bringing order to complexity. So final question from me. With all that I've shared so far, GRC, what element do you find that you resonate the most with? I'm gonna see in the chat, put a G or R or a C. And it's okay to have both. Someone just said G and C. Okay, awesome. I tend to lean towards governance. I'm a governance person at heart. I just love things being done in a particular way. I love structure. And so I can do well with compliance, but governance is for me. All right. So next slide, Mo. All right. So as I close out here, I want to circle back to these job postings that we saw earlier, right? Now you understand what governance, risk, and compliance actually look like in real life. And these roles now should feel a lot more familiar. They should probably feel even more doable. So whether it's conducting audits or you're writing policies or you're training staff or having to understand the regulations, these are things that many of you already do in your current roles, just under a different title. And so the secret here is learning how to connect what you already do, what you already know, to what employers are asking for. And that's what we help you do in the GRC bootcamp, right? We're helping you translate your experience. We're helping you tell your stories into job-ready confidence. So I'm going to pass it back to Mo to take you through the rest of the webinar, but thank you all for listening. Thank you for your engagement. And don't forget to stay tuned. Don't drop off now. Don't forget to stay tuned, right? We're going to find out if you win the scholarship. So that's coming soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Yolandi. I'll give you a round of applause. And everyone, if you thought she did well, give her some love in the chat. She left her work at Facebook. It's still a work day, I think, where they are in Seattle. So just give her some love in the chat. Let her know if you thought that was good, that was helpful. Thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate having you on these webinars, Yolandi.
Wait, man. Don't.
I'm going to request that we all mute. Okay, so she's kind of broken down exactly what GRC is, and now I'm going to show you how we can help you get there or how you can do it by yourself. I'm going to skip this case study of Amazon due to time. I could do this at the end. This is kind of breaking down like one of the case studies that we do in class so that when you get on the actual job, you can execute. But I want to talk about certification here. Now, you will see that if you look at the top IT certifications on the right side, you see the C-Risk, CISM, CISC. I won't say the full things, you can read it. You will see that like some of the top certifications in tech in general are actually aligned to GRC, which is quite interesting. So showing you that there's so much demand from companies for people who are certified in risk and information security and things like audit. Okay, so I got another question though. True or false? If you have all of the necessary cybersecurity certifications, you will automatically land a job. True or false? Ah, many of you got this right. This is false. Okay. So certifications open doors. Yes. They'll help you get interviews, but they don't close the deal. Employers are looking for proven experience, business ready communication. You saw how she came on here and broke things down eloquently. That's going to be you once you go through our program. They want to see transferable results, like show me what you've done, not what you've learned from your past work that shows you can drive the outcomes and not just pass exams. And so this is a critical point where I show you the method that actually works. Here's like part of what you came here for, right? So these are the four gaps that you have to fill to land a high paying tech job. And this applies to whether it's cybersecurity or project management or product management, even software development. So number one, we always think about the skills. Yes, this is where you have to start. If you don't have the skills, you're a non-starter. Learn the technical skills and the tools, soft skills, and even becoming certified. Okay, people typically will just stop here. This is step one. Step two is getting the hands-on experience in a cross-functional team. You heard Yoani talk about she works with data scientists, engineers, lawyers. Our work to build anything big has to be cross-functional. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team. And so you want to be able to actually put yourself in a cross-functional team with different stakeholders, different roles before the actual job. So do the work before the job, right? Now this is hard to do, but we make it easy at Skill Hack. And I'll break that down for you. Number three, marketability. And I'll use a metaphor here. Say you went to the grocery store and you saw yogurt on the counter. Let's say this was yogurt. And you see the yogurt, the branding looks good, you like the colors, you like the name, you like the ingredients. You take it home, you try it, you like it. You keep buying it. Grocery store is happy, company's happy, you're happy, right? But say similar scenario, you went back to that same grocery store, but instead it wasn't a well-branded or marketed product. The cup was black, it was leaking, the fonts were off, it was dirty. Would you still buy that same yogurt? Yes or no? The answer is obviously no. We wouldn't buy it, right? And so the point is, I've seen lots of folks who have the skills, who have the experience, but how they market themselves is not effective. And so you want to ensure that you market yourself with a stellar resume, with a stellar LinkedIn profile, so that you become a magnet for jobs. You get lots of interviews, and then you crush it in the interviews. You do so well that by the time you're
Mhm.
getting down the elevator and getting in your car, they call you and they say, "Hey, can you come back up? We want to give you the offer." And we've seen that happen at Skill Hat multiple times. Like I have tons of screenshots of people telling me they did the interview and they got the offer in 20 minutes, in 30 minutes. In fact, the lady, Shade Reed, who's now our alumni ambassador, she won the award for Rising Star. She took everything I said and did it. In fact, the case study they gave her in the interview was the exact same case we did in class. And when she started driving back, they called her and said, just turn back, come back, we want to give you the offer. And that's when you become extremely marketable. And the fourth gap you have to fill, I'm sure you've heard the saying, your network is your net worth. And so you want to build a network of one, people who are in the role you want to get into. If right now you want to become a cybersecurity analyst or a GRC analyst, and you can name 5, 10 people who are in that job right now, you're not networked enough. And so we want to help you build that network so they can tell you, hey, here's what I'm doing on my job. Or if you have an interview, they can say, hey, I know the guy who's hiring. In fact, we've had stories of Belumi, who was a coach, and Prince Precious, who was interviewing for a role at Intact Insurance. Belumi said, who are you interviewing with? And she says the guy's name. The guy, Belumi, the coach says, I know the guy. He calls the guy who she's interviewing with and says, hey, my mentee is coming to interview with you. Can we do a back channel coffee chat? We all meet together before the actual interview. You let her know what they're going to ask in the interview with all the other people. And then they have that coffee chat. And when she went into the actual full interview, the formal interview with everyone else, she knew what to expect and she got the job. True life story. You can check out Precious when you join Skill Hat and Balumi the coach. These are real stories that happen when you're well networked. Okay. In addition, you want to educate the world and network through LinkedIn by posting content. When you post, how many of you guys see my content more on LinkedIn? Give me an L in the chat. If you see my content, give me an L in the chat. When you post on LinkedIn consistently, you attract like minds to you, okay? And it improves both your network and your marketability. And so posting and as you see, educate the world is huge for building out your network, okay? Of course, going to conferences as well. These are the four gaps, okay? If you believe that once you solve these four gaps, you will be successful, give me a number 4 in the chat, okay? Give a number 4 in the chat if you believe that these are the four gaps you want to solve. Fantastic. Now, I have a question for you as well. Looking at these four gaps, think about it for yourself and let me know. Which one of these four gaps do you think you need to solve for? So just type number 1 or number 2 or number 1 and 3. Like, which one of these four gaps do you believe are the ones that you need to focus on right now? Okay. Okay, I'm seeing a few number ones, a few number twos, 1 and 2. Fantastic. Let's talk about how we help you do that. I'm gonna skip this. Um, let's keep it going. I want to make this fast. Now, I'm gonna talk about how we solve the four gaps. And still to come, right? We're gonna give away a 10K scholarship today, and we're gonna give away part scholarships as well. And it's gonna be so much fun because you're gonna keep getting more and more surprises. Hint, hint. So here's how we help you solve the four gaps. And you can actually look at this and figure it out and do it by yourself, or you can work with us to do this. So let's talk about the Skill Hat Cybersecurity GRC program. It's not just a boot camp, it's actually a series of programs. And so the first piece is the immersive course. It's a 12-week course. If you enjoyed this webinar so far, you thought it was a high quality, you thought it was at depth, this is exactly how the class goes. It's over Zoom, where you learn the core tenets of cybersecurity GRC over 12 weeks. This class is the first step in learning the skills. We start the next cohort October 4th. My team is on the call. We are close to being sold out on that cohort. Okay. And so if you're looking to learn this, and I recommend you tap in tonight. October 4th is when we start. The class is Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m., fully online on Zoom. This is not self-paced or pre-recorded. This is live, like how we have it live right now. This is not AI. I'm really here right now. Okay, guys, this is live. And so it's 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday and Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m. for the course starting October 12th. I'll just give you a visual of the depth that we're going to go through. Here's, for example, what the schedule looks like. Don't get intimidated because we'll make it easy for you, but like I said, it's 12 weeks. And over the 12 weeks, you learn about overview of cybersecurity, landscapes in the regulatory space, creating policies for companies, risk assessment methodologies, risk mitigation, compliance fundamentals, information systems management, incident response, continuity and disaster recovery, AI and cybersecurity, GRC tools, the software to use for the work, technologies, AI as well, machine learning and GRC, and we help you get the job with the coaching. So over 12 weeks, pretty immersive, is the first step. Okay, sounds good? Yes, so you're correct. The cohort October 4th, this is the schedule. You will see a different schedule on the website. Please ignore that. That is for a future cohort. Okay, this is the schedule for the cohort beginning October 4th. Thank you, Anne Marie. I appreciate you clarifying that. Please be informed. Okay. All right, I'll take questions at the end, but this is step one to work with SkillHack. The time zone is Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Glory. Every time I communicate times in this call, please be aware it's Eastern Standard, so just convert to your local time zone. Okay? Sounds good. If this sounds good to you so far, just give me a G in the chat for good as far as timing and content. And I'll walk you through the cost as well. And again, a lot of folks here today will get full scholarships and part scholarships. So I look forward to that. Now, what are the four gaps that we have to fill? Skills. That's filled in step one. Second gap is hands-on experience, which is where this program is really unique. So what we do is once you've gotten the skills, we'll actually place you in an internship, in a client immersion. We'll actually place you in a real life tech company where you get to work for a real life tech company and help them solve a security problem. It could be helping them get compliant or certified or doing risk analysis, whatever it is that they need based on what we've learned in class. How do we do this? I'll break it down. Well, we actually have a vast network where our alumni actually already work. We connect with those guys, say, hey, we have more alumni to work with, and other things that we do internally. We have a dedicated internal team who you will work with to place you in an internship for 8 weeks. And these are unpaid internships, so we're clear. These are unpaid part-time internships to actually solve for the hands-on experience gap so that you don't just have skills with no stories to tell. Because when you get that six-figure interview, the question is not what do you know, but what have you done? So that's the second piece. I'll break it down as we go. Okay. If that sounds good, give me a G again for sounds good. Okay. Now, I see a lot of great questions. How do you align with full-time work? I promise I'll break down everything today. The third piece is now you've solved for the skills gap with step one. You solved for the hands-on experience gap with step two. The third gaps and fourth gap, which is marketability. Marketability is the third gap. That's solved through coaching. So you will be assigned a one-on-one coach. This is typically a senior cybersecurity professional, people who work at companies like PwC Consulting, Deloitte Consulting, Meta, TD Bank, to work with you directly to convert your existing resume into a GRC resume, and then convert your LinkedIn in the same way so you can land interviews. And then once you land interviews, we work with you on what's called role play. So we're going to ask you questions you can expect in the interview and then tell you how to answer those questions. We're going to give you scripts that you can practice. And then we have AI tools as well to do by yourself. I'm going to break it all down, but first I'm going to show you the whole process. And the fourth is networking. We will secure tickets for you into tech conferences coming up. We have Afrotech coming up. Who's coming to Afrotech in Houston? Give me an Afrotech in the chat. Afrotech in Houston, Elevate Talent in Toronto, Be Future in Toronto, and a bunch of events that happen. We secure you virtual tickets and in-person tickets, discounted tickets. I see my guy Prince on the video. Prince was at one of our last events last year, the BIS Summit. So you can network and connect with people in the industry, right? All right, awesome. I see you guys. If you're going to be there, Afrotech, I'm going to be there. It's October 27th. I'll be there. So I look forward to seeing you. Message me on LinkedIn. Let's see at Afrotech in Houston. And so your network is your net worth. We help you build out that network through also the skill hack community. So you're going to tap into a network of our existing alumni thousands of people who, because just so you guys know, we've been around for a while, for about 5 years now, 4.5 years. Okay. Now, once you land the job, we don't stop there. We have a bonus fifth step where you can get support on your first job through a different program. This is called the seven-figure boardroom, where if you make 100K a year or more, this is another program to help you grow to become a leader and a director and do well in your first job. And so you will get some free support on your first job, but there's another program to ascend to really become a leader in tech. So that's the fifth step, job success. If the full flywheel sounds good, give me a sounds good. Uh, if this whole sounds good, this process makes sense to you. Give me a sounds good. Give me some signal in the chat. I'm seeing questions. I'm going to ask questions at the end. So, as a recap, here's where you are today. Lots of folks are doing well, but want to do much better. Some folks are not happy at all. You want to get to six figures in cybersecurity. Here's a path that we recommend if you're going to work with ScaleHack. Step one, the GRC bootcamp, the course, 12 weeks. Step two, the client immersion internship, where you work for a real tech startup solving security problems to really build the experience and then build that network as well, right? Now, I want to add as well, we've seen some companies love the alumni so much they do two things. Number one, decide to pay them. They say, hey, this is an unpaid internship, but you're doing so well, we have a budget, we're going to start paying you. We've seen that happen. Number two, they retain them and say, you've done so well, we're going to keep you and convert you full time. So we've seen that happen as well. So we're not promising that, but we're saying that it's happened before and it's in your control to make that happen. Number three, coaching, so critical. Working with a coach to help you do your resume, interview skills, and land the job. I promise I'll answer all questions at the end. So let's zoom into step one. And then once we go through it at a high level, I will give you guys who won the scholarship and help everyone else enroll at a part scholarship. Let's talk about the 12-week program really quick. I'm going to make it fast. Here's a screenshot of the previous cohort who have just graduated. You know, you can see real faces and names. The purpose is to learn the actual technical skills, the soft skills, the frameworks, the tools to get certified to become a cybersecurity consultant. Now, what that means is that in 12 weeks, if we put you in a job, you can do the job. That's what that just simply means. And it's 12 weeks remote, online through Zoom, just like how this call's going. Who is teaching you is actually not me. You're working with people who are better than me. You're working with C-level cyber executives like Eddie. Remember the name Eddie? I'm going to talk about Eddie shortly. And Melly's going to come on. So Melly, thank you so much for your patience. I can't wait to have you on. Melly, are you here with us?
I am, yes. Hi.
Hey, sorry, we're going to have you on shortly, okay? So get
No
ready.
worries.
Okay, so again, it's October 4th we're starting. Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Okay, now the career path, right? You go from analyst to officer to manager to director to VP. So cyber has a clear path to growth. A lot of people here are very ambitious. To the highest level, which is called the CRO, the Chief Risk Officer, or the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer. And why I'm saying this is because we want to start you here at like an officer level, but the coach, rather the instructor you're working with is already here. So Eddie, your instructor, is a CRO at a top insurance company. And so is Danny. In fact, Danny has his own security company making millions of dollars, right? And he teaches here with SkillHack. So you're dealing with like top level guys working with you. It's all about the who, not just the what. The who is incredible. So here's some testimonials. Don't take my word for it. Here's testimonials from Ed Ubong talking about how Eddie is exceptional in security, privacy, and AI governance, making complex concepts easy. A lot more. This is from Melody, who is here today. You just heard from her. Here's her testimonial saying Eddie spared no effort. She has a love sign saying, I appreciate you, Eddie. So I'm just showing you the caliber of our instructors who will work with you to help this become reality for you. And then this is Danny when he trained Raj, and Raj is now working at Amazon as a solution consultant. This is going to be your reality if you choose to work with SkillHack. Here's some more testimonials in the last cohort. Today's class was so good. This is just last month. There's also the after specials. Thanks to Eddie. People coming out really motivated. Harrison says, joining ScaleHouse was a leap of faith for me. He was in the webinar just like this. He took a leap of faith. Best decision he's made is what he says. It accelerated his career, gave him the confidence, the internship exposure to stand out, and he loves the community. So I'm just showing you what others have said. You can make a decision to work with the best. And so if the value of this program, you were to get it yourself and hire Danny and Eddie, given that Danny charges 300 per hour and Eddie is 200 per hour to hire him, at a blended rate, if you hire them directly at this price per hour for 3 hours a week, not the 5 hours in class, for 12 weeks, you would have to pay them $9,000. Okay? And not only are you getting the instructors, you're actually getting your work review. So what that means is when you do work in class, you do compliance documents, policies, risk analysis, AI implementation in the class, you're going to get your work reviewed by a teaching assistant who's also a security professional. If you were to hire him to look at your work in 12 weeks, the 7 homeworks, you would pay this price, $700. I'm showing you the value of what you're going to be getting. Some folks are going to get it on a full scholarship as well. So the value of the course alone, the 12 weeks, is conservatively about $9,700. Okay, that's the value of that. But don't worry, it's not $9,700, but that's the value that it is. So that's step one. Now, step two, the client immersion internship, the 8 weeks. This is one of the places I love about the program. It's freaking hard for us to run this program, but we have to do it because that's what's required for success. Now, the purpose is to earn the actual job title in a real company, solve a real security problem, build the experience that makes you confident and attractive for 6-figure jobs and contracts. Meaning, in 8 weeks, you become so good, no one can doubt you, not even yourself. And you don't have to fake it and lie. It's real. You've done the thing. It's 8 weeks remote part-time, 10, 12 hours a week, working evenings and weekends part-time with a startup. Okay. So who are you working with to make this happen? We're not just going to throw you to a company and say, go figure it out. You're going to have 2 key people. One, a dedicated recruiter who places you in roles. He's paid to place you. And 2, a coach who works with you to ensure that as you're doing the work for the startup, they're looking at your work and saying, do this differently, do this better. And so how it works, I'll show you how it works shortly, but what would you do with these companies, right? So you may help them, like they're trying to implement AI, for example. So you might help them figure out the risk and the guardrails and data privacy and protection. You may help with compliance readiness. They may have third-party vendors that they're using who they have to vet to keep themselves secure. So you may be doing vendor risk analysis. This is a popular role called TPRM, which means third-party risk management. Okay. Incident response. They may actually have a breach and they're like, I have no idea what to do. How do I respond to a breach? Okay. One of the companies that we know got recently attacked, the founder's identity was stolen. They had to respond. So you might help with that, drafting out incident response emails, driving the team to respond to the issue, and then helping them become aware of the law that pertains to them. Because again, these founders, these startups, these enterprise companies, they're so busy doing the actual thing, whether it's fintech or it's, we had a company who is in our ecosystem who builds AI that summarizes PDFs. They're focused on the actual product. All security stuff, they want to have someone come and handle that, which is what business is about, solving problems. So this is what you're going to be working with. We have to recruit Davis, really strong recruiter who has a whole team. And he's the internship manager. He ensures that you are playing internship. And then Joan will coach you through the process. Joan is the leader at TD. You can Google her. She was a project manager. She pivoted into cybersecurity herself. And so, technical background herself, so she understands the space. So she's going to coach you to success on the role while Davis will place you in the role. And here's some screenshots. Here's all the way in July. This is Davis placing this guy called. She says, "It's been so good. My first job is to get the company certified, ETC." Okay, and he's getting certified. And he says there's a challenge to interface with the founder every day because the founder is busy, but that's what it's about. How do you solve that challenge, right? The second one I'll show you is Patricia, where this is her finishing 2 weeks in August, and she's actually working on some sales process optimization for the company. This is on the BA side for Patricia, not C. So if you're going to hire a recruiter yourself, like a tech company uses a recruiter to hire you, you think the recruiter is not charging you. The truth is that they are. I remember I place you in a tech company, when you get a recruiter, take 15 to 20% of your salary, but you don't actually know that. And so what happens is that they charge the company. Okay, they charge the company, but you have no idea. You just get paid what you get paid. That 15 to 30%, this is right from Google. And so based on what we're trying to do for you, if you're going to hire these guys yourself, it is at least 10K easily to hire them yourself. Per annum is not 10K, but that's the value. Okay, that's step 2. So now let's recap. You got the boot camp, which is 19K, which is so you get 19K in value, 19,700 in value, which is live boot camp worth 9,700, and the client immersion to solve the hands-on experience, 10K. Okay, lots of hours in the chat. Lots of questions in the chat. So where you are right now, we talked about the course and the internship. Let's talk about the last piece that seals the deal, the one-on-one career coaching. So what this is to revamp your resume and your LinkedIn and design a unique strategy to apply for jobs for you. Okay, meaning that you package yourself so well that employers are fighting for you to work with them. We've seen folks get multiple offers and then they're negotiating. That's what I want for you, by God's grace. And so how it works is this 2-part program for the coaching. You get the group calls every week. On the group calls, we do like mock interviews and role play with others so you can stay in the community. And then you have the one-on-ones. The one-on-ones, you can book your coach through Calendly for one-on-one interview prep, things of that nature. So that's how the group coaching works, and the career coaching works. Now, again, you work with Joan on the coaching side and the other coaches we're bringing on. And here's some screenshots again of success. This is Olu, who says, I want to share how it's been a game changer for me. The coaching is top notch. My coach guided me every step of the way, finding my resume. Beyond the technical stuff, skill have boosted my confidence, empowered me. The course are worth it. If you're thinking about getting into this, it's not just learning, it's practical. So another one, this is one saying, I want to share the great news with you. I signed my offer letter today. This is as far back as 2022, right? I've been doing this for a while. Saying, I know you get this a lot, but thank you for creating Skill Hat. It's a blessing. And the coach was a game changer for me across stages in the interview and assisted me through negotiation as well. Negotiation is a fast way to gain value, okay? If you get an offer for 90K, you work with the coach. Coach says, let's negotiate for 100K. You go into that meeting. In that 1-hour meeting, you get an extra 10K in a 1-hour negotiation, right? If you were to work in that role at 90K, to make the extra 10K will take you like 2-3 months. But in 1 hour, you make an extra 10K, right? So negotiation is critical. We're going to help you with that to get the most bang for your buck. And so if you were to actually buy career coaching from Skill Hat directly, the group coaching might cost $100 a month at $1,200 per year. The one-on-one coaching will cost you at least $5K to get a one-on-one coach of our caliber. And all the event tickets, it'll cost you like $7,000 just for the coaching alone. Okay. And so let's recap the value of the program that some of you are going to get a scholarship for today at $26,900. Okay. The live bootcamp is $9,700. The client immersion is valued at $10K. And the career coaching is valued at $7,200. This is the actual value of this, and we think it's well worth it. But guess what? There's more. You keep giving. There's all these freebies that I'm going to walk you through as well. You need to know what you're getting. And so let me ask you a question. How many of you love applying for jobs? Like you love waking up, going on LinkedIn, applying for jobs. Give me an L in the chat. How many of you hate it? How many of you hate the application process? Give me an H in the chat. You want to just go to show up for interviews. You hate applying for jobs. I freaking hate it. I hate applying for jobs. Guess what? I love to just go to job interviews. So we noticed this was a gap. And in fact, I'll tell you a story. The last six-figure job I got, 150K, a while ago, I didn't even apply for the job. I hired my ex-girlfriend's best friend's brother. Let's just say some lady's brother in Nigeria as a virtual assistant. And like, dude, I'll pay you $100. I'm too busy at work making money. Just apply for jobs for me. I gave him my resume. I told him to apply for these jobs. And I was just seeing emails of, oh, you have an interview coming up. I'm like, this is incredible. Why is no one doing this? $100 a month gave me many hours back. So we were like, well, let's just use AI to do this. And so we actually built an AI, right? To save you hours. Because guess what? Employers are looking at your resume with AI, right? You guys know that? And so if you apply for a job, it's the AI is going to look at your resume and say if you're good or not before the real person looks at it. And so if employers are doing the same, let's do the same. Apply with AI. And so we built an AI, partnered with a company called Apply, which applies to jobs for you. And so you can focus on networking and prepping for interviews and skip the effort of actually applying manually. If you're excited about that, give me an E in the chat. If you're excited about that, give me an E in the chat. Now, this tool is valued at if you were to go buy it yourself, applyall.com, go there right now. It's $200 a month for this AI, but it works very, very well, right? You just put your role you want, put the resume in. The next day you're going to see interviews, right? Well, at least you're seeing rejection emails, but at least it's not a job that you specifically took hours to apply for and get any rejection, right? You get it for free. You get it for free when you take the skill program. $200 a month, you get it for free in the first month. Okay, so real quick. In addition, you also get lots of templates. I talked about LinkedIn. So critical. You get templates to build out your LinkedIn profile that you can use. Content, storytelling, like I told you. When you post, you attract people. You're going to get content framework to tell stories on LinkedIn. Interview scripts, how to answer interviews. This is valued at $1,000. You get it all for free with the program. The third bonus, let me ask you a question. Okay, there's a hidden job market. Okay, in case you guys don't know. Did you know, let me ask you a question. What percent of jobs that exist in the market are actually posted? Is it 10% are posted, 8% are posted, what percent are posted? What percent of jobs that actually exist are posted online, on Indeed and Glassdoor? Yeah, it's actually 20 to 30%. You guys got it correct, most of you. So that means that at least 70 to 80% of the jobs are not even posted. And so there's a hidden job market. I'm seeing folks, this is our last event that we had. This is me here with alumni Ralph, Shegun, all crushing in their careers, Joey. A lot of these guys get jobs from the community because they know somebody who's actually hiring. If I show you on Slack real quick, I gotta show you this stuff so you guys see this is real. This is, so y'all gonna see this lady on my screen here, this beautiful looking lady with the dress from one of our events. This is her posting and saying, hey, good morning. Like, a team is looking for a healthcare BA. If you're interested, I'll hook you up. Respond by this time. And then somebody actually responded and got the interview. So that's the power of community and tapping into that hidden job market. Okay. Like I said, our alumni community makes $20 million combined. You can tap into that network right away tonight. And here's some real faces of real people across our events and real screenshots. And so the value of the community conservatively is about $1,500. That's the third bonus you're going to get for free. Okay. So when you combine the actual bonuses of the job app software, the templates, the community, That's an additional 2,700 of value, all for free with our program. Okay, so you might be saying this is actually worth more than 29K. 29K is the value of our program. You might be saying to me, Mo, there's no way 29K is something anybody would pay, right? Some of you think that's a crazy number, but guess what? I paid that. Here's a real screenshot from my QuickBooks. I paid $34,000 last year to a company, to a guy called Cole Gordon. Closures.io. Check him out. Cole Gordon. I paid $34,542. Why did I pay that? This is a real guy. I paid this money. I pay this money to learn what I'm doing right now. Masterful webinars, incredible sales processes, sales recruiting, and how to place you guys in jobs. They train me on all that stuff for $34,000. And guess what? I went from making $150K a year to $1.5 million a year with the investment. Now, let me ask you a question. If you could invest 34K and you knew guaranteed like me, you get $1.5 million back, would you make the investment? Would it be a good investment? Yes or no? Yes, right? That's what happened to me. And so, in addition, I was actually able to raise grant funding from the government of Canada. Last year alone, 300K we got from the government, which is what allows us to give you guys these scholarships. So I was actually quite hesitant at the beginning. I'm like, $34,000, this is crazy. But now I'm like, this was a great investment I made in myself. And so today I'm presenting you a chance to make a similar decision, an opportunity to invest in yourself. Good. And so you're getting this amount of value, $29,000. Now, the price of our full program will be a great price at 25K, discounted for the value, right? Because you're going to get a 6-figure job with cybersecurity. It would be a great price at 22K, right? It's a great price at 15K. Truly it is. But as you know, the program price is $9,800. That's the actual price. And I can't wait to give a full scholarship today. Now, someone on this call will get this program completely free. It might be you. It might be you. I'm seeing Mitchell in the comments says most colleges would charge 30K with less than 10% of the value. That's why we're here to give you more value. Now, you may get the scholarship tonight, but if that's not you, here's my offer to you tonight. Okay. My first exclusive gift to y'all tonight. For everyone on this webinar, everyone here today, and only those here today, 146 of you right now, you will get a 40% part scholarship into the Skill Hab program, which takes the $29,000 value program to only $599 or $59.99. Incredible. Or 24 payments of $249 per month. Oh my goodness. This is incredible value at an incredible price. This is only the investment to secure your future. I will log this in right now. Or $8.30 per day, the price of a Chipotle bowl per day or less, right? You could skip that Chipotle for your 6-figure career, or just do both. Fuck it. You live once. Get the Chipotle and invest $8 a day into my future. In this economy where AI is changing shit so fast, you got to make the investment. And so this offer expires at $59.99 for 29K value program on Tuesday, September 30th. If you're in, type I'm in the chat. I see Jukbe, Angel, Boris, Leon. I love it. Now, local taxes do apply, so the government's going to get theirs. But guess what? With education and investments, you get the money back end of the year. So that's also pretty good. Now, I have a second gift coming and a third. Okay? Before that, let's talk about ROI, return on investment. My prayer, my hope is that it should take you about 4 months to land a new position. Okay? It might happen quicker, it might happen in more time. But let's say it took you 4 months. At a $249 investment per month in 4 months, you would have spent $996. In your first month of a 110K GRC job, which you guys saw, as a salaries. In the first month, you would make 91.66 in the first month after month 4, whereas you would have spent 9.96. Would this be a good deal? Yes or no? Would this be a good deal? Yes or no? I think it would. There's very few places you can get outside returns like this, like investing in yourself. If you invested 9.96 in the stock market, you would get $1,200 back after a year. But now we're talking about making $9,000 back in 4 months from investing 9.96. It's a good deal, clearly. And so the biggest risk today is doing nothing at all. That's the truth. Now I'm going to ask you a few more questions. If you say no, this program is not for you, okay? And I want folks not to be a part of it if it's not for them. Number one question: will this opportunity that I presented with the 4-gap method at Skill Hat get you closer to your goals or further away? Closer, the answer is yes. Number two, does this program increase your chance of achieving your goals to land a 6-figure tech job in cyber versus doing it by yourself? Does it increase your chances? If it's a yes, good. If it's a no, then it's not for you. Number three, can you get the resources together to start at $249 a month? If the answer to all three are yes, you're not going to regret it, jump in. If it's no for any of them, it's not for you. Okay? Now, we also have a love it or leave it guarantee. When you join Skill Hat, you're protected. If you're not satisfied, I'm not satisfied either. We're going to fix what the issue is if it exists. We don't have any issues right now. But otherwise, we'll just refund you your money. Okay? You're 100% protected, like these folks on the screen. Some folks here on this call. I see Lola here, Aisha. There's 2 Lolas in this picture. Dami, Roy, Shams, Martin. You're only going to gain. Okay? Now, the second gift. It's our mission to help as many people. This second gift is crazy. Okay? We have a second gift because we want to help as many folks become successful, like we are. And so the second gift is pretty wild. Y'all ready? Okay. Before I share it though, again, I just have 2 questions. Just oblige me, please. If you're seriously considering this, you've typed in, you've said yes already. So I think I already asked that one. But this is a question though. If you were to register tonight and you could bring a friend with you, or your wife with you, or your son, or your dad, or your pastor, all for free, would that make it a better deal? Ah, yes, it would, right? If you're enrolled tonight on a part scholarship and you can bring in someone with you, would it make it a better deal? Guess what? That's the deal. If you enroll tonight in our cybersecurity GRC program at $59.99, you can get a friend into the course on a full scholarship. This is what's called a buy one, get one free opportunity. Tonight only. Okay? To help a friend or family member become a 6-figure cybersecurity consultant absolutely free. The best part is they don't have to know they got it for free. You can buy the course for yourself and tell them, hey, I bought you a 6K course. And they'll be like, what? And then you say, yeah, I love you. That's why I did it. And so the friend will have to start in the next 6 months. So not today, not tomorrow. They have 6 months to start. But if you lock your seat in tonight, then you get a friend in for free. That's the second gift. The first gift was you get a part scholarship for being here. The $29K value program at $59.99. If you enroll tonight, you get a friend in for free. Okay? Who's excited about that? Getting a friend in for free? Give me an E in the chat. Crazy deal, I know. Crazy deal, I know. But that's why we make these deals, to make it fun and get the community learning together. Okay. Now, your friend, here's what they get if you enroll tonight. They get the full 12-week GRC program completely free. They're going to get their homework marked, all the classes, and all the group coaching calls that happen after, all for free. They don't get the managed internship, though. They have to upgrade into that themselves. Okay. But they have to start in the next 6 months, only if you enroll tonight. So that's the offer tonight. Enroll before midnight to get the part scholarship and the buy one get one free deal, a crazy offer. Give your friend a full scholarship and you get 40% off this incredible program. Now, if you enroll by next Tuesday, the 30th of September, you don't get the buy one get one free deal. You get 40% off for yourself alone. And you have till Tuesday to do that. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. All you have to do is click this link. Give me a second. And I know we have even more stuff coming with the full scholarship, so just bear with me on that. But you just go to the link in the chat and you just click the pay in your country, depending on your country, it'll make it easier so the payment doesn't fail. Choose your right country, US or Canada. If you're in the UK or any other country, just choose US, okay? Once you do that, put the discount code in. I'm going to give you guys a discount code. Do not share this discount code out of this room, please. Do not share this discount code out of this room, please. One more time, do not share this discount code out of this room, please. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys to enroll tonight. Bear with me a second. I got to get the right link. Where's my link? I think it's right here, actually. There we go. And my team's in the chat. Marvin, Mitchell, you're in the chat. Use code. Okay. If you want to enroll right now, you can go ahead. Okay. At $59.99, taking the 9800 program to $59.99. Tonight, you also get a free member or a free family member or friend in tonight. Now, I told you it was going to be crazy. Was the second day crazy, yes or no? Was it crazy, yes or no? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to answer all the questions I promised once I get through this piece. So let me finish up. Now, for the most, if you bought the VIP seat to get a full scholarship, type VIP in the chat for me, please. Let's see who's in. Okay. Oh, okay. There's a link. Interesting. Mitchell's telling me something different. Oh, I didn't know we had this. Oh, wow. This is so cool. I know the team built this. This is incredible. Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate that. Okay. I see like 40 plus VIP. So let's talk about who's getting the full scholarship tonight. Now, if you saw my posts on LinkedIn, my Instagram videos, I promise you one person will get a grand prize of a $9,800 scholarship. Now, if they're not here tonight, I'm not going to give it to them. You have to be here. So if I call your name, I want you to jump on video and say, I'm here. Are we locked in? Okay. So here's how we got to the grand prize winner. Number one, when you registered, you had the option to upgrade to a VIP seat at this price. Now, when you upgrade, you get into a full scholarship draw with one winner. We received at least 50 plus upgrades and applications. You have to fill out a form and say why you don't deserve the scholarship and what you're going to do with it and your background. And then this is not a gamble, right? We're not a lottery company. We're not allowed to do lotteries. So we have to give you guys value for your $30 application fee. And so you actually are going to get, the VIPs are going to get $1,000 in additional prize. We're all about outside returns here. Okay. So it's not a gamble. We don't do a lottery. So you're going to get $1,000 in prize, even if you don't win the scholarship for your application fee. Okay. So I make that clear. And then we have a selection committee. So I don't even know who won, just to be clear. I have no idea who won. There's an outside team who looks at the applications, and they had a scoring criteria. Okay. And then they chose the winner. Okay. So that's for transparency, so we're clear. Now, here's the fun part. It's not one winner, it's two. Okay. It's gonna be one winner in US and one winner in Canada. Okay. All right. One winner in US, one winner in Canada. And with that being said, the winner of the grand prize full scholarship into the Skill Hat program is in the USA, Ebube King. Let's give him a round of applause. Ebube King, are you in the room right now? Let's celebrate
Yes,
with
I'm
what?
here. Hi.
Video. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Wait, are you actually doing for real?
This is for real. Congratulations. Let me ask you a question.
Oh
Do you
my
know you were gonna
goodness.
win this tonight? Did you know you were gonna win?
No, let me tell you, my mom sent it to me, right? She kept pressing me. And she's like, can you sign up for this thing, please? Because like I said, I graduated cybersecurity in May. And then it's just been like, a little roller coaster. But like, it's just that she just said, I'm positive about this night. I'm sure something positive will come out. I'm like, okay. And to be honest, like yesterday, I just did the application because I'm like, okay, fine. To be honest, I have been looking into GRC, and this is not the first one I'm joining, to be fair. This is like the second or the third. And it wasn't really like this. Those ones is like, oh, you have to pay for the class first or whatever. But this one had an opportunity. So I was like, okay, this might actually, let me just, put my mind into this and actually sign up for real because it is the opportunity. Here on the call, I've been here since 6. I've been around running errands, but I've been paying attention, taking screenshots and everything. And then I'm like, okay, um, it's coming to the end. And then now when you said USA and Canada, I was like, USA and Canada. It's like my mom's prayers.
Your mom's prayers are working for
It's like
you.
my mom's prayers. And then the first name you're calling is my name. Like for real, like I'm actually so blessed and I'm actually truly, truly grateful. Like God bless you. And I'm glad I actually took this seriously. I'm
All right.
actually
Well,
truly grateful.
congratulations. You must have
Thank
said,
you.
well, two things work for you. One, your mom's prayers work for you. And number two, your application was pretty strong and the team felt you deserved it. So once again, let's congratulate her. Now we
Thank
have a
you.
second winner. Okay. Drum roll. This is the Canadian winner. Okay. The Canadian winner of the full scholarship is Brittany Simone DaCosta. Are you in the room right now? Brittany Simone
I'm
DaCosta.
here. I'm here.
All
You won
right.
this one.
Congratulations. You win the scholarship today.
You won this scholarship? Yes, my mom is with me.
The mom's prayers are working tonight. So congratulations, Brittany Simone.
Thank you guys.
So let me ask you this. Did you know you were going to win this tonight?
No, I had no idea I was gonna.
I think we lost Brittany Simone. Brittany, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with my kids. It's bedtime.
Okay. Well, just ask you one more question. Are you a paid actor or are you a real person who had no idea you were going to win this?
Yes, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay. Well, because of time, I just wanted to say congrats to you. Okay. So for those who won the scholarship, congrats. Now, for those who did not win the full grand prize, remember you get $1,000 worth of free value tomorrow morning in your inbox, and this is what you're getting. All the VIPs will get invited to a 1-hour resume session. You're getting a lot of templates, and the first 3 classes for free, and other stuff all to your inbox, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Now, also for the VIPs, for betting on yourself and trusting Skill Hat, you get another exclusive offer. So check your inbox right now. All the VIPs, check your inbox right now. You're gonna get some stuff that's pretty secret. Don't say nothing about it. But you get another offer right now for trusting us, and just respond and say got it, so we know you got it. And check your spam. So just respond saying got it, okay, in your email. All the VIPs who didn't win the full scholarship. And so let's remember, this is the opportunity of a lifetime right now when AI is eroding a lot of roles. The $29,000 value program, which is priced at 10K, is only available right now for $59.99. If you enroll tonight, you get the part scholarship plus the buy one get one free deal. I'm gonna put the link. Marvin, put the link in the chat for me, please. Marvin, put the link in the chat. Okay, you got the bar scholarship if you enroll tonight, and you have to bring a friend. Now, if you can do it tonight, you can enroll before next week Tuesday at 5 p.m. at this price. After which it goes back to 10K. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Now, if you have any questions and you need help with anything, call us right now. If you want to lock in your seat, so like I said, October 4th is when we're starting, and we have limited spots. We have 100 plus people on this call right now. We had 900 registered who are going to get the email, but not the full thing. They're going to get a different thing for not being here. Lock your seat in if you're serious, or you may not be able to join October 4th. Call this number right now if you try to enroll and you cannot. Okay? Call this number, and Marvin put a link in the chat. If you click that link, you can enroll at $59.99, or you can book a call with our team. This is a good page, Marvin. Thank you. Just click the link in the chat. Marvin, just keep posting it. Keep posting the link. Okay? If you try to enroll, if you have any questions, some folks want to pay through e-transfer in Canada. We can do that. Some folks have questions about installments. We can do that. Okay? And so at this point, I'm actually going to answer some questions. So Marvin and Mitchell, some of my team members, let's just get them to say hi real quick. Mitchell, you want to say what's up real quick to the audience? Because you're going to call your phone right now. Mitchell, are you here? Are you able to speak?
I'm here, Mo. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So Mitchell's a learning advisor here at SkillHat. Mitchell, tell them about why you're excited to talk to them and help them.
Mo, thank you for the opportunity. Today has been one of the most amazing days that Skill had for me because the guy that got a job today, T, was someone that I spoke with. And one of the big things that we do on the call is we talk about the goals that you have 12, 24 months from now. So I'm booking a call with T, and he had all these big goals that he had when he spoke to me about 8 months ago, and he was telling me he wants to send money to his parents in Nigeria. He wants to move out of his small apartment. He wants to get a property. He wants to start saving. And I can't wait to have those conversations with you, right? The reason why we're here is because we want to change lives. We want people to aspire and achieve their dreams. So book a call. You want to get to understand your goals. You want to keep you accountable to your goals. And we want to present those goals to you 4 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, when you get the job to say, hey, you did it. Congratulations. Now let's take you to the next level. So I look forward to hearing from all of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the numbers on the link, pardon me, on the page, the link to enroll right now, if you try to enroll, you can go through Affirm. So Affirm Klarna, if you go to that link and say enroll, you can use that to set up yourself on a $249 per month payment for 24 months. Okay, plus interest that applies based on your credit score. That's with Affirm. That's one. Two, if you try to enroll, you have any issues or any questions, just call the number on screen. It'll route you to my team, Mitchell, Sam. They're gonna talk to you. Okay. If they're busy, just stay on hold. They'll get to you. I'll folks on the call. For those who want the scholarship, Abel B and Brittany, we're gonna email you and you're gonna get onboarded. Okay. Now, if you enroll tonight, remember you get a friend in. So once you enroll tonight, you will also get directions on how to invite the friend. So don't worry about that. Just enroll, and then you get directions to invite the friend. Now, I'm going to take some more questions. Is the program for folks in Nigeria suitable for those in Nigeria? Short answer is yes and no. Yes, because it's going to help you change your life and increase your income and potentially work remote for a US tech company. Now, the only no part is that we don't focus on opportunities in Nigeria as far as the government roles out there, etc. We focus on people who are in US and Canada and the UK. So we don't have internships from the UK for those in the UK. So it's really focused on US and Canada and UK opportunities. But if you're in Nigeria or in Ghana or wherever and you want to enroll in the program, it'll give you a chance to actually play in the global market. That's the answer there. Okay. Another question is, are these guys paid actors? The answer is no. You can hear the moms in the background yelling. This is all real. We have no reason to lie to anyone. We have government funding to give you scholarships. Okay. Another question is no scholarship for those in Europe who stayed awake till 3 a.m. Wow. 3 a.m. in Europe, you're here. Appreciate you, Christian. You get the part scholarship. It's a $59.99 investment on a 29K value program. And the ROI there is massive. So I hope you can join us. Thank you. Other questions? Let's see in the chat. I'm in. I love it. So let's lock in. If you have any further questions, put the comments in the chat. Okay. Now, question is, what happens if you don't have the full amount? If you click that link in the chat, so Mitch and Marvin just keep posting the link consistently, you will be able to enroll with Affirm or Klarna, who you go through their process. You go through it tonight. You can lock in your seat and a friend's seat all tonight through Affirm and Klarna. Or if it's not working, just book a call through that link or just call us right now. So once again, enroll tonight or call us right now. If that doesn't work, book a call. But you can only book a future call for tomorrow, which means you're going to lose the friend seat tonight. Totally fine if you can't do it, but book a call. No matter what you do tonight, either enroll tonight or book a call for tomorrow. No matter what you do tonight, okay? Even if you don't have the money, even if you have no idea how you can afford this, just book that call. Antonio, I see you booked a call. I see you on the call. You booked a call with Sam recently, right? Do you mind muting up?
Yeah. Hey,
How you doing, Antonio? How was the call with Learning Advisor Sam?
it was great. He broke down like what the program's about and everything.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So no matter what you do tonight, book that call or enroll so we can talk to you one-on-one and figure out how we can help you be successful. I have a question. What is the cost to opt into the internship alone? It's $4,500 for the internship alone. And this is because we place you, we coach you, and we get you into a six-figure role. And so the investment in yourself covers the cost of a dedicated recruiter, which would cost you $10K doing it by yourself. Now, if you book that call with the team, they'll help you enroll in that program and give you different options that would work for you. Okay. Other question. Let's see. Wow, lots of questions. Phone number is in the chat. Email for VIPs coming soon. Marvin, when can the VIPs get that email? I'm not sure if Marvin's speaking. Okay. All right. So while we still have folks registering, if you're invested and committed, type invested, type commitment, type committed in the chat. If you're in and you're committed already, just type committed, type invested so I know, like celebrate you. Okay. Now, we do not do pay once you land the job. We don't have that option. We just have you be able to pay $249 a month with Klarna and Affirm, which is what allows us to be able to invest in the best instructors. These guys aren't cheap. Eddie, Danny, Davis, Joan, we have a solid team. If we only let you pay when you got a job, one, it's not in our full control. Two, we won't be able to invest in the good team to work with you.